If I think back to 10 years ago today, I was literally days away from launching City Girl Savings. I had come up with the idea for City Girl Savings near the end of 2013 and started taking action all through 2014. I hired a company to design a website with the capability of fostering community, technology to allow me to create customer budget plans through the website, and hold a plethora of blog articles. My mission at the time was to help show women they could live a life of fashion, travel, and self-care while reaching money milestones through budgeting. That website was a sight for sore eyes, but on January 1st, 2015, City Girl Savings came to life. As we approach our 10-year anniversary, I want to share what 10 years in business has looked like for City Girl Savings. In this episode, I'm reflecting on the growth, the changes, and the lessons learned after 10 years in business. Hey there, I'm Raya Reeves, and over a decade ago, I turned my life around through budgeting. I went from being an overspender deep in credit card debt to being the founder and full-time money coach of City Girl Savings. Now, I help women work towards their dream life and tap into their financial power one budget at a time. I fully believe you can live a life you love with a budget, and I'm living proof. The weekly City Girl Savings podcast focuses on the intersection of money and the City Girl lifestyle. Join me every week along with some special guests as I share my experiences, advice, and guidance on navigating life and money as an experience-loving millennial. So let's start with the growth. I wish I could tell you that City Girl Savings launched and it was an instant success. I mean, we see it all the time on Instagram, people starting businesses and making 6 or 7 figures within a couple of months. That was not the case for City Girl Savings. City Girl Savings launched January 1st, 2015, but the first sale ever for the business came 8 months later, and only after offering to create a free budget plan for someone in exchange for a review. So back then, my budget plans were $9.95. Absolutely crazy to think about because I put so much work into my custom budget plan. So charging $9.95 was highway robbery for myself. But anywho, I offered to create a free budget plan for someone. She accepted, and she ended up giving me a review. I got that review. I took screenshots of it. I advertised that review on LinkedIn and ended up getting back-to-back sales, making just under $90 in 2015. Crazy, right? But hey, here we are. Because my revenue starting point was so low, I had big jumps the next couple of years. I hit my first 5-figure year in 2018, and coincidentally, that was the year I decided I really wanted to make something out of this business. I actually did want to run City Girl Savings full time. And once I put that intention out there and started getting a little bit more serious, I ended up doubling my revenue the following year. And it took City Girl Savings 6 years to finally reach 6 figures earned in a year. And that's a milestone that people seem to praise on the internet. Not only that, it took me 6.5 years to be able to leave corporate and run City Girl Savings full time. So I certainly would not call this business an overnight success. It took a long time, a lot of work, a lot of learning my value and pricing things the right way, and eventually being consistent has paid off. So we ended up hitting 6 figures again in 2022. We did see a significant decline in revenue in 2023. And most of you already know this. That's the year my mom's health went south, and she ultimately ended up passing in August of 2023. So I really couldn't give City Girl Savings my full attention for most of the year. And thankfully, I had other reserves and just things in place to be okay financially. But fortunately, 2024, we are back on track revenue-wise and looking to continue to grow. So City Girl Savings, definitely not an overnight financial success. Definitely a lot of planting seeds and tending to those seeds over the course of time and just being consistent and powering through, even if it seemed like things were going slow. But in addition to revenue growth, I want to talk about some of the other ways City Girl Savings has grown through the years. So when City Girl Savings launched, we had 0 followers, 0 community members, 0 newsletter subscribers, basically nothing. We were brand new. And now, nearly 10 years later, we have 48,000 Instagram followers, almost 10,000 newsletter subscribers, over 8,000 Facebook group members, and our community keeps growing on TikTok, YouTube, and Pinterest. We also have 4 additional team members outside of me. And if you want to meet the CGS team, check out episode 77, Behind the Scenes of the CGS Team. I'll link to that in the show notes. It took a while for me to invest in getting help for my business, not only because of my need to control things, but also fearing that I didn't have enough money to pay someone to do anything. But I got over that, and it really has been such a tremendous impact on the business. Now I have the ability to focus on things that are in my zone of genius, things that will help the company grow, and some things are off my plate that maybe I'm not totally obsessed with or that other people are. So investing in team members has been pretty huge. But also, City Girl Savings has partnered with numerous brands. We've been featured on a handful of reputable media outlets like Forbes, Money Magazine, creditcards.com, Pinterest, Vanity Fair, and I've done multiple speaking and teaching engagements. So I'm incredibly proud. City Girl Savings has grown in so many ways from 10 years ago. And while I still think there's a lot more growth to be had, I do want to acknowledge how far this company has come, all starting from my fingertips. I am just so proud of this company and truly feel like I am living in my purpose with the work that we do. So that was just some of the growth we've experienced over the past 10 years, but let's talk about some of the lessons learned after 10 years in business. And trust me, there are plenty. There are so many lessons I've learned, challenges I've faced, and hard decisions I've made with City Girl Savings. I think business ownership requires critical thinking, action taking, and trusting your gut, all things that really aren't easy all of the time. Not to mention, you have to have this kind of undeniable feeling of consistent positivity and just know that you are riding the waves, not saying that everything will always be great all the time and thinking that way, but just knowing that you're capable of weathering any storm, because business can be so up and down. There's so many waves to ride, and it can definitely do a number on your mental well-being if you're not mentally prepared. So, first lesson I've learned after 10 years in business is that City Girl Savings isn't for everyone. Okay, so hear me out. While I do believe that everyone needs financial education and money management skills, I've learned that not everyone needs City Girl Savings for that. Some people aren't a good fit as clients. Some people don't agree with our approach to budgeting and goal setting. Some people don't see value in paying for City Girl Savings services. And in the beginning, I took that personally. I took offense to that, and I felt like, well, maybe that's an indication of me. And that's not the case. At the end of the day, all of that is 100% okay. And it took me a while to learn and accept that. I used to want to serve everyone, and that's just not realistic. The right people for City Girl Savings get the right things from City Girl Savings. And there's so many different businesses and influencers and educators that can provide people with the financial education they need. That's not me, and it's not City Girl Savings, and that's okay. As I said, I've learned that the right people for City Girl Savings get the right things from City Girl Savings. Another lesson I've learned after 10 years in business is that things are going to change, and that's a good thing. So, what I thought City Girl Savings was going to be in the beginning and what it has actually turned out to be now, 10 years later, are two totally different things. My website has changed. My business model has changed. My pricing, thank goodness, has changed. My branding has changed. My clientele has changed. Almost everything is different from 2015. But guess what? Once again, that's 100% okay. And in fact, it's more than okay because I have been open to change the whole time. Things have worked out in ways I couldn't have imagined, right? Because I've been open to change, my true path has been made clear to me. And I don't want to say that I came out from the gate just being open to change and expecting change because I didn't. I really thought City Girl Savings back in 2015 was going to be like the next Facebook, but for women who were focused on finances, and it just didn't work out that way. And that's okay. I really thought that a lot of brands would be on there and we would have the ability to shop at discounts. And that's not the case. And that's okay. It, in fact, doesn't even align with what I truly teach and push for City Girl Savings. So it's not that I was open to change from the very beginning. It was that I accepted change as it happened. I was okay with change as it happened. And instead of fighting it or resisting or forcing change when it was coming, I was open to it. And it really did lead me to some amazing things. So things are going to change in life and business, and that's not a bad thing. In fact, it can be a great thing. I think being a business owner who has gone through change has actually made me a more flexible person. I still have rigid tendencies. I mean, typical of a type A Virgo, but I've grown just so much more in my ability to be fluid and flexible with a lot of things in life outside of business. And I can attribute that to being open to change in my business. Are you loving this episode so far? Well, the money and life level up conversations never end in the City Girl Savings community. Visit citygirlsavings.com for instant access to resources that help you budget, level up your money mindset, and so much more. And make sure you stay up to date with CGS by following us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at City Girl Savings. The next lesson I learned was kind of a tough one, and I still kind of struggle with it to this day, but that lesson is I can't do it all, but no one will love it as much as me. And what I mean by that is I can't do everything in the business, therefore I need to have help. And that help is just not going to love City Girl Savings like I do. And it's because it's not theirs. City Girl Savings is my baby. I can't expect anyone to love it as much as I do. But that was something I struggled with early on. I think what also contributed to me struggling with that is I am the type of person who does what she says she's going to do. And I'm going to do whatever I do to the best of my ability. So if I have a deadline, I have something that needs to get done and I said it will get done, I'm going to do it and I'm going to do it well. Not everybody works like that. Some people struggle with reaching deadlines and sticking to them. Some people struggle with not doing something because it's not going to be perfect. And everybody is different in that. And that is something that I've learned over the years. And it may not even have anything to do with how well they feel about City Girl Savings or anything. It's just their own personality. So there's a lot that goes into it, but I can't do it all, but no one is going to love it as much as me. But you know what? I am so blessed to have the help that I currently do have with City Girl Savings. Lena, Brittany, Marielle, Taylor, you all are amazing. I can't believe there was a time where I thought I could do it all. And maybe because I did do it all by myself for so long. And of course, I reached a burnout. Even as the business grew, I was still working corporate full time. And for the first couple of years was doing everything on my own. And it was a lot. I didn't have to work that hard. I could have brought in help earlier to ease my workload, but I didn't. And because of that, I hit burnout a few times. But you know what? Hindsight is 2020. That mistake will not be happening again. And now, in fact, I am actually more than happy to take things off my plate and allow others to help me, especially if it's taking things off my plate that I'm not good at or just not passionate about. But the person who is receiving that workload is like almost a win-win for everybody. So just because I let go of the responsibility doesn't mean I let go of the oversight. I can always see what's happening. And that's the case, even if I'm not in the weeds doing the work. I think letting go of tasks that weren't helping me get to the next level has been such a game changer. It has allowed me to focus on the things that truly do help move the business forward. It also freed up time on tedious tasks and helped provide more financial security for someone else, right? So now that I have people working for me, that is a source of income for them. So this business is providing financially for me, but it's providing financially for others. And that's a great feeling. So while I have learned that I can't do it all and it's okay to let go of responsibility, I've also learned that no one is going to love City Girl Savings as much as me. And like I said, it's not anyone else's baby, it's mine. So ultimately that makes sense. But I didn't automatically think that. And I think maybe other business owners can resonate. You don't automatically think that. You think everyone is just going to push their own boundaries for your business. And that's not realistic, nor is it healthy. Especially if I want to push my own personal boundaries for the business, like that's on me. That's something I got to work towards, but I can't expect anyone else to do that because, again, not realistic, not healthy. It's definitely taking me some time to recognize this and manage my own expectations, but I think it's actually made me a more open-minded individual and hopefully a better leader too. The next lesson I've learned after 10 years in business is don't focus too much on what others are doing. Now, I've always been pretty good about following the beat of my own drum. If I want to do something, I usually do it. I don't see what others are doing or how they're doing it. I go forth my own way, and it served me well. I was like this as a kid. If there was something I wanted, I did the research of what I needed to do to get started, and I just got started. And that has kind of taken me throughout my life. Like that's been my approach. But I will say that was easy for me to do in the early stages of City Girl Savings, not only because it was my personality, but because there were a lot less money coaches and financial influencers back then. Like in 2015, 2016, 2017, I really didn't see many at all. But that changed in 2020, and likely because of COVID. I mean, there was a huge surge in financial education content, social media accounts, and money coaches. And it's crazy because some of those accounts truly grew at lightning speed, like way past City Girl Savings and in a shorter amount of time. I did and continue to do my best not to focus on that. It's not something I can control, nor does it change what I'm supposed to be doing, right? So if I sat there and compared myself to these other accounts or these other people, it's doing me no good. I really don't know the context behind why or how they started. I don't know the context behind their business or the financials. I don't know if somebody is backing them. Like, I have no idea, right? So to compare or feel bad about not being on a level they are, it does me no good. So I'm definitely good about checking myself, but I am still human, right? Like I have my moments and it's okay. I think I just can't stay in those moments. More competition may mean less client options, but I've never not had clients. In 10 years of business, I've always had clients. And I know that the people who actually become my clients are meant for me. And that's such a great feeling. Like the clients I work with, number one, they're amazing people. But number two, like it's such a good fit. A lot of my clients turn up being like actual friends that I spend time with outside of coaching. So I love that aspect of the business. And like I had mentioned earlier, City Girl Savings is not for everyone, and that's okay. As long as people get the financial education they need, whether that's from City Girl Savings or not, that's what's more important. I know it's very easy for anyone, not just business owners, to play the comparison game, but it serves no purpose. There's no positive purpose in that. And you really don't know what's happening in someone's life. So comparing is not a great practice. It's pretty hard for me to articulate the growth, the lessons learned, and all the changes City Girl Savings has endured over the past decade, but I hope I did it some form of justice today. This company, this business, it is so, so important to me. It's so important for the people who truly need the information and the encouragement to change their financial lives. And if I had to do it all over again, I would in a heartbeat. I hope the next 10 years of City Girl Savings sees even more growth, lessons learned, and lasting community impacts. I want to add that if you have been wanting to work with someone to improve your financial situation and you think I may be that person, please request a call with me and let's talk. It's a complimentary 30 minutes with no requirements other than showing up, so you respect my time and your own, the day of our call. And I'll link to that request form in the show notes. I also want to add that if you have a business idea, if you want to provide a service or want to start an online coaching business, I have a business mentoring and coaching program that may be able to help. I will also add that link in the show notes so you can learn more. So as we wrap up the final City Girl Savings podcast episode for 2024 and prepare for City Girl Savings 10th birthday, 10th anniversary, I would love if you could leave a review to share what you think of City Girl Savings, the podcast, the community, the business, all of it. Wherever you are listening to this episode, whether it's YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, please, please, please give us a rating, give us a review, give us a thumbs up, a like, share your thoughts. It would mean the world to me, to the City Girl Savings team. And thank you so much for everything. It is no small feat to make it 10 years in business, and I am so grateful for everyone who has played a role in that. So thank you for everything, and Happy New Year. Thank you so much for letting me be the money coach in your ear today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the City Girl Savings Podcast and you feel empowered and motivated to take the next step in the journey to your dream life. Remember, if someone like me, a millennial who loves to travel, new experiences, and iced coffees can live a life they love on a budget, you can too.